Welcome to our new filming venue, one of many that you will see. This happens to be my garage, aka the lab, aka the cave that I can escape to if I need to. And it's doubling here as a filming spot for us to go over a variety of options for how to train your spine, specifically in rotation, with a resistance band. So this is a really easy prop to pick up and can really upgrade your training in a whole variety of ways. So we're going to go through a few exercises today that really spotlight each of those options that are available. So all you'll need is a resistance band and then like a door to attach that band to, and we'll show some kind of picture-in-picture for you to see how to do that. We have different setups here, but it will be clear, don't worry. So to start, let's go ahead and get our test movement out of the way, which is going to be the cat-cow motion for your spinal segmentation. So just come into quadruped or any quadruped version that helps you feel nice and stable through your upper body. Feel that through your feet as well. And then let's start at the tailbone, starting to curl your tail under and just searching out how much flexion you're able to find at each segment of your spine. Letting it be a medium effort drill for now. Don't worry, we'll be working hard during this class, but there's a real power to making your awareness your primary focus rather than intensity to start. So just keep shining that awareness light on your spinal column, feeling how much extension you can move into as you lift that tailbone and reach your spine forward. And then just keep working back and forth into flexion and extension for about 20 more seconds. Really taking note of any segments or areas that are questionable for you. Maybe they don't feel totally clear, maybe sort of a blind spot. Maybe you recognize it as an area you've had trouble with in the past. Whatever it is, just leave that little mental note for yourself. Good. Taking the last 10 seconds to move through the end of the rep you're on. Really trying to feel the active components of this motion, as well as those stretches. All right, and then let that go. Okay, we will come back to that motion at the end and sort of compare, so good to note. Here's where we're going to use the band for the first part. We're going to try to use that band as a way of increasing the feedback that you're getting from your body. So we can use this in a couple spots on your spine, but the first thing is just to get it set up on your hands. So you want to grab it. Sometimes it helps to twist that band and make it just an X in front of you. Yeah, that way it won't roll around your spine quite as much. And then you're going to pull it behind you. And let's go ahead and start with it across your thoracic spine. So your rib cage area, any old spot that feels either that is accessible or that is a spot you actually want to focus on, you can aim for that. Okay, get your palms comfortable, make sure the band isn't running into your arms in an uncomfortable way. And then we're gonna just try to focus on moving into that band. So before you start moving, create some tension in your lower back, in your legs, in your arms, and try to keep that area still. And then as best you can, push your spine into the band right where you feel it. And the neighboring segments will come along, but you're trying to keep the area below your rib cage quiet. When you can't push into that band anymore, switch to letting that band push you. So you really try to feel like you're reaching your spine forward away from where you feel the band, and maybe finding some contraction sensation right under that band.
Oh yeah.
Good. Go ahead. Keep going back and forth, pushing into the band and then reaching away from the band at your pace. Now in this upper back area, thoracic spinal area, your shoulder blades will love to get involved. That's not a problem, but that's another thing to be aware of, especially if you're coming back to this class on repeat watchings. How much are your shoulder blades moving compared to the spinal movement that we're after with this drill? Good work. Give me 20 more seconds of solid effort, trying to find maximum flexion into the band and maximum extension away from the band. Good. and let that go. Very nice, okay? Melt it away, give your wrists a quick break. We're also gonna do the same thing for your lower back, but sometimes straight up quadruped can be a little bit weird for that. The band can start to roll around. So you're gonna just be backing your hands up a little bit so that you have a little bit more, a little more purchase on your lower back. And then I find it helpful to set your upper back to stay still, just like we were doing with your lower back a second ago. So lift your chest up actively, connect that to feeling heavy hands to the floor, and try to keep your whole rib cage, shoulder, arm complex still. And then your motion is going to be pushing your lower back segments into that band as much as you can. It might snap around or move a little bit and settle. That's okay. And then when you can't push into that band anymore, let the band pull your spine forward, and then try to emphasize or exaggerate that motion actively. So you're reaching your belly button for your knees. Each time stopping the motion before your ribs start to move along, but totally fine to let your pelvis move here because that's going to be pretty tough to keep still. Yeah. Good. Essential twerking training. Sorry, I had to say it. Because it really is, if your goal in life was to get real good at twerking, I really hope you work on your spinal segmentation. Okay. And just keep giving these inputs, flexing and extending through those lower spinal segments. Another 10 seconds. Good. And finish up the movement you're on. Let it melt away. Now again, if you're coming back to rewatch this class, the spot that you put the band can be very specific if there was a spot that you really needed help with or one that we've kind of talked to you about. So feel free to move that from class to class. All right, we're gonna now get into a few of the different ways to really train with the band. The first way is gonna be, you're gonna be sitting on the floor and you're gonna attach that band around like a door handle and have the door facing towards you. You'll see that video below, but we're gonna go ahead and set up. Once you're sitting on the floor, you want your feet towards that door handle and you want to have a little bit of tension in the band already, kind of feeling a little bit of that because the purpose of the band here is to assist you on the way down. The way down, the motion is going to be flexing of your spine, so that rounded shape that we were just working on, but to lay your spine all the way down on the floor. So like a roll back, I think, right? Yeah. Okay. So from here, find your brace, kind of pack some air into your abs, and bring your focus to the very bottom of your spine. Start curling your tailbone under to initiate this roll back. And then keep adding that flexion or adding that curling feeling as you roll back, really trying to make it smooth. So one segment at a time lays down, okay? Now, Hannah is literally a professional at this, so she makes it look super smooth, but what you might find if you tried to do this, say, without a band, is that you just collapse all the way back down to the floor. This is where the band can be super helpful. So just like kind of wiggle your way back up, however you need to use an arm or roll off to the side, that's sort of just a reset. If you felt like you just fell back, you want more band help, you could hike up on the band, get a little tighter tension, and then it's actually helping you more. So go ahead, let's do a rep from here. And this can actually make you feel like, oh yeah, I could flex a little bit more at each segment as you start your roll back here. Really trying to increase the amount of flexion at each and every vertebrae. Good. Working through the upper back and noticing the band gives you even more assistance there until your head comes down. Once your head's down, wiggle your way back up however you need. Okay. Let's say that you felt like that was too easy and you wanted to make it a little harder, meaning you're going to take more of your body weight without band help. You could just kind of walk your hands down the band. Let's go ahead and keep moving, rolling down and wiggling your way back up for about 30 more seconds, and we'll just see, how many reps you get in there. Curling from the very bottom of your spine and then adding flexion at each subsequent vertebrae. Almost trying to feel that hollowing or that curling of your rib cage, curling towards your pelvis before you lay all the way back. Good stuff. playing with how much your knees are bent can sometimes be a nice variable to work on. You mostly just want to find the leg position that feels supportive for you. Great stuff. Take your time here to finish up your final rep. Awesome. Okay, and we are going to come back to this because we're going to circuit this with a few other exercises. So it'll be interesting to see how it feels different. So now we're going to come up to tall kneeling, or you could stand if you'd like, and we're going to show an exercise for spinal rotation, for segmenting that rotation. Sounded weird in my head. And the band is going to help just increase the amount of tension that you feel in your body. So in a second, you're going to hold that band, kind of stretch it out. But for now, maybe let's just set the band down and just reach your hands out to the side like a T, okay? Now, we'll start unloaded here so you can feel the motion. Squeeze your butt. Make sure your hips stay still so you can feel that your pelvis is not going to move. And then start turning your belly button, let's say, to the left. Turn that belly button as far as you can, the rest of your spine moving along. When your belly button can't keep moving, then move the segment above that further into rotation to the left, and then the segment above that. So you're working segment by segment up your spine, trying to add rotation until you can't move your collarbones and shoulders to that left rotation anymore, and then just unwind it from the belly button and all the way back upright. Okay? Try this out to the right. And I find that turning into the rotation is much easier to segment than unwinding. So we're going to just spend our efforts on the turning into it and then just kind of resetting. Cool. Okay, getting a feel for that rightward direction. Now, what you might have seen here, your arms just so much want to help, so they will kind of come out of the T with your body. So this is where the band can really upgrade your segmentation by reaching out to the side, and then up to you how much tension you grab. Narrower grab to start will be much harder than starting wide, and then try to bring that band right under your collarbone so that you really feel your arms and your chest are sort of locked in place. And then let's start moving to the left, turning the belly button, keeping the pelvis still, and really trying to feel that each level of your spine offers more rotation, so that the result is that your shoulders and head actually turn the most, way more than your belly button. And then just unwind it to center, create your tension and start turning to the right. Good, I'm gonna give you a minute here because I really want you to take your time and get some reps in for both directions. Okay, if you feel that band coming off of your chest, you just can know that your arms have started to move independently of your spine. Good. There we go. Breathing around braced abs. Breath is always a good idea, even when you're really holding tension in your body. Also tuning into how your pelvis is trying to turn as well. Trying to tune that down so that you really are getting this rotation from your back. 10 more seconds working through the rep you're on. It's okay if you're not totally even on each side. Good. And wrap up that rep. Very nice. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the door kind of setup. You'll set up again either in tall kneeling or standing and just bend your knees so that the band is roughly in front of your sternum. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be somewhere in front of your sternum. And then grab onto the band with your outside hand first. That's kind of a critical little detail. And then wrap up that hand with the other hand. One note here, this is going to be a little annoying, but if that doesn't feel good, you could always Superman your grip instead. Yeah, like this, and that sometimes feels better. So up to you which one you'd want to choose. When you're ready, you're going to set up far enough away from the door handle or origin, whatever you're using, so that you feel like some real work here. It doesn't feel like the band is just slack. And then from here, you brace your body, pack that air, squeeze your butt, and start to extend your arms straight in front of you, not letting the band pull you or your spine rotate, and then just bring the band back. Okay? So that's the motion. Try to stay under constant tension as you reach the band further, and then you bring it back in. And so many kind of odd compensations pop up. You might feel your pelvis or belt buckle trying to turn. You might feel one shoulder blade trying to hike or the other one. You might notice that you're suddenly kind of punching your arms off to the side, either towards the door handle or away. So really just move slow, focus on your hands moving forward and back. Give me 15 seconds of good solid effort for this Pallof press. Good. And 3, 2, 1, and relax it. Good stuff. Okay, we got to do that one on the other side. So square up, make sure that band's right at sternum height, your body is braced, and then start extending your arms only as far out in front of you as you can keep your body position. So this gives you kind of a good view of Hannah's back staying totally still. So even though you can't see her arms, you can tell that she's only moving her arms as far as she can without her spine or pelvis or legs deviating or changing position. And that means that we're doing the drill that we're trying to do. Okay, moving slow so you can really note that. Give me 20 more seconds. Breathing around braced abs. Good. Really letting this be an intense strength exercise, as intense as feels good for you today. 3, 2, 1, and let that tension go. All right, and we'll come back to that one as well, so you get a second shot. For now, let's go back to that seated position and check in on these rollbacks. Okay, now this time I want to do the first rep just a little bit slower. So whatever speed you found that first round, we're going to slow it down and use the band to actually allow you to do that. So if slower feels like impossible, definitely hike up on the band and grab more help from that band. Okay, and then create that tension in your body. Commit to really moving at the speed that you can control as you start curling your tailbone under, maxing out that motion. Then the upstairs neighbor segment starts to flex. And then each vertebrae up your spine is doing its part. How much can it flex and round? And then once it's on the ground, your focus shifts to the next vertebrae. So you're really trying to feel each vertebrae come into contact with the floor one at a time until about shoulder height. It's pretty tough to get your neck totally flat to the ground. So we'll let that go. Good, okay, and then find your way back up. Now, if this felt really intense on your neck, it would be totally fine to put a pillow under your head, and then you just kind of stop the movement short when your head comes down. Let's go ahead and keep working this for 30 more seconds, seeing how many reps you can get in that time, really how much time under tension you can get for your spinal column muscles. Good. Really rolling through it. Good. Okay, and you should really be getting a good feel for where you have control and where you maybe don't have so much control. Okay, so for this next one, as you start rolling down, if you notice a spot where you don't have much control, pull with your arms and you'll suddenly have more support from the band. You'll get a little bit more assistance as you're rolling down, feeling those spots that you have control of. And then if you find a spot, oh, I need a little more help, you just pull on the band. It increases the tension in your body and increases the assistance from the band. Woo, buddy. Turns it into a little bit of an arm exercise as well. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Let that go. Awesome. Okay, we'll see how that has affected your flexion when we come back to cat-cow. Let's go ahead and come up to tall kneeling or standing, and we're going to use the band for a little extra irradiation. So this time, again, narrower will create more tension when you stretch it out, wider, a little less, but either way, you want to get it in line under your collarbones, kind of into that T shape. And you could even try to like pull it into your chest so your upper back is really working. Yeah, there we go. And then brace your midsection, brace your lower body, start turning only from your belly button, and then let the next upstairs segment contribute more rotation, more, and you're turning as far as you can without losing contact with the band on your chest or collarbone, and then just reset and move off to the other direction. Okay? So best as you can, really try to feel how each vertebrae provides a little bit more motion. So it's not as if they all move together. They can coordinate together, they can collaborate, but they're not all moving at once. Good stuff. There we go, breathing. Really trying to find that complete stop to your rotation so you're sure that's as far as I can go on this rep. Good. 10 more seconds. Keep working even when you stop moving to really find that edge.
Oof.
And then bring it back. Awesome. A little different than the first round?
For sure.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Let's do that second set of our Pallof presses. Again, will be from tall kneeling or standing, whatever feels best for you. Find the grip that feels right for you. And then really set your lower body. Okay. Set your internal pressure so you're as turned on in your midsection as you can be. And then start straightening your arms. Okay. And back and forth. Now, one thing that can happen, Hannah's doing a nice job with this, but one thing that can kind of sneak in is jumping out to a locked elbow and then jumping back to your chest. If that's you, I want you to do a smaller motion and then back. So you don't even approach your arms getting fully straight, but you're actually just kind of scanning back and forth and noticing how your midsection is forced to work harder and then less hard, depending on where your hands are at. Good. Keep it moving, 10 more seconds. And depending on how far away you are from that door handle, this can be a super, super intense activity or more of a kind of mid-level activity, up to you. And let that go. Nice. Good stuff. Okay. Let's turn it around. Find that nice solid base for your lower body. Take a breath to brace your midsection and really set your shoulder blades down your back. And then when you're ready, go ahead and start scanning, reaching your arms forward. Maybe noticing how different parts of your midsection, your core musculature, are asked to work harder when your arms are way out in front of you. Good. Really increasing your awareness of this brace. Nice. Good. 10 more seconds. Good. And finish up that rep you're on, getting back to center and letting it go. Nice. Okay. So we just went through that circuit 2 times. Totally fine if you want to jump back and do it another round or 2, because this is really effective conditioning for your spinal rotators. But now we're going to move forward into a little bit more intense of a drill to kind of finish things up before we retest. So you're going to again find the band that you were just using for Pallof presses, and now you're going to want to come down into half kneeling. You could like do a split stance where you have 1 foot forward and 1 foot back and standing, but we're just going to show half kneeling here. From this position, you want to start with your hands kind of holding onto the band, just like we were working with the Pallof press. And once you get there, you can sort of feel how half kneeling feels different. So yeah, your body might try to lean off to the side a little bit. You might find some rotation happening. So you want to set up in such a way where you actually feel that your front foot is providing you some stability, like almost like you're going to stand up on that front foot. Yeah, nice. Okay. You could help yourself maybe by curling your tailbone a little bit to really feel the whole leg and hip get involved. And then once you're here, you're going to keep your lower body still and just twist your upper back and spine away from the band. Okay. Once you're here now, you're going to increase the tension by straightening your arms out and then slowly turn back towards the origin of the band and feel that that band literally pulls you through rotation, and your job is to slow down that rotation. Okay. All the way back until you're fully rotated towards the origin of the band. and then let it go. And just relax your body for a second. Okay, so I wanted you to just get a feel for that first rep, maybe just watched Hannah, if that's totally fine. We're gonna get a full set in a second. The main thing to keep in mind here is that piece I said about slowing down. So the goal here is actually to like train your brakes, if you will. So that might mean when you twist, you're not gonna go arms all the way out if it feels like it just twists you uncontrollably. You might turn and just reach your arms a little bit forward, and then you're actually able to feel those brakes kick in and control the rotation, all right? We're gonna do 1 minute. You do as many reps or as few reps as you can fit into that time, and then we'll switch sides. So half kneeling, brace, twist your torso, keeping your belt buckle square ahead. And then once you've twisted as far as you can, straighten your arms out to load the movement and start turning your way under control. Really kind of going as slow as you can handle. Good. Very nice. Good. Keep your control going until you've maxed out that rotation. Okay? And as you load up and keep going here, that point about as slow as you can handle, if you're feeling like you could go super, super slow and it would take forever, then you might want to make this drill harder by moving your body away from the origin point, or maybe selecting a thicker band if you have that option. Good. On the other hand, if this feels like really impossible, shorten up your reach with your arms, and that should make it a little bit more doable. Good work. All right, let's get one more rep in, Hannah. About 15 seconds. And really let this be a full body exercise. So your legs are involved. They're doing their part to keep you stable. Very nice, letting your upper back finish the motion while your pelvis and lower back stay still. And then let it go. Awesome. That's a really demanding movement unto itself.
Schwitzen.
Yeah. Okay, and let's turn around and get the other side. Good. Okay, and from here, again, take a moment. Each side will be different, so curl your tailbone a little bit to make sure you can really feel your hip tissue, and like almost like you're making that foot heavy to stand up on it. That's always a good way to kind of find your leg. Your back foot can be curled under or flat like Hannah's showing, either way that feels comfortable. And then band is right in front of your sternum as you twist your torso off away from the band origin, straighten your arms out, and then control that rotation back, turning, turning, turning. Good. Feeling yourself stay under control even as you finish the motion, where it will feel a bit easier actually, because the band has gotten a little more slack, okay? And then let's wind up and keep going here. Good. Doing your best to keep your lower body and pelvis stock still as you rotate, and then control through that rotation back. Nice. Good work. Great stuff. Good. And really keep in mind, rotation is one of the most demanding things that we ask of our spines. So if this feels like you're kind of in deep water, or maybe you have a history of back pain or injury, and this feels a little sketchy for you, it literally might not, you might want to work up to this. You might want to work a little more on flexion and extension, a little bit more on lateral flexion before moving to this rotation work. Good. Let's get one more rep in. Good. Really dig in deep to find that tension that's going to actually slow you down and give you those breaks. Good. Nice. Great. All right. We're going to let that go. Again, if you wanted to repeat that last exercise, you can just find the chapter and go back to that. The one thing too about as you intensify that particular drill is that eventually the band will be pulling you so much that the end of the motion, the band will actually pull you a little further. And that's exactly why I say it's a real advanced drill, because you want to be very confident in your spinal rotation before you would let the intensity come up there. All right, let's finish up by coming into cat-cow and working on that spinal segmentation, just seeing how all this work has affected that familiar motion. So make your feet and hands heavy. Take a big breath to pack some air into your midsection. And then let this final retest be about 50% effort as you curl your tailbone under. Good. Feeling how your lower back and then your middle back each do their part. Good. And then reversing the motion, reaching your tailbone into the air, reaching your belly button forward as your pelvis fully tips. Trying to find active contraction feeling on the back side of your spine for extension. And then just keep moving at your own pace, keeping it at about 50% so that your awareness of the motion can be the dominant focus for you. Good. Feeling what you feel. Noticing those spots that you bookmarked earlier. Do they feel the same? Have they shifted in some way? Are there new spots to take note of? Take your time. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent job. Very nice, and I'm really excited to hear how working with the resistance band sort of changes some of these hard to feel movements actually, and let us know how they go. We'll see you soon.